Disney movies is the category. Ooh. Question 1. What color is Sully's fur in Monsters, Inc.?
Purple and blue?
Blue with purple spots is correct. Animating Sully's fur was so hard that Pixar had to invent new animation tools just to make each strand move naturally. No, he's furry, and they had to make each strand move as Sully moved, and they'd never done that before in history, so they had to make new technology. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Question 2. What Pixar movie was the first full-length animated film ever made only using computers?
Toy Story?
Yes, very good. In 1995, Toy Story changed movie history. It was the first movie ever made entirely with CGI animation. So how did they make cartoons and movies before that?
They used like paper and they wrote it
They'd
on
draw
there.
pictures and they would make the movement on paper, correct? But Toy Story, all on computer. And now I bet they barely use paper at all. They probably use paper to like mock up what the characters are going to look like, but I bet most of it is done on computers now. Question 3. What movie features a robot who loves collecting trash and old treasures?
WALL-E.
WALL-E is correct. WALL-E barely has any talking parts, but still tells a touching story, just with sounds, music, and expressions. So if you think about it, there is not much dialogue in WALL-E. They sort of beep around and it's really mostly sounds and music. That's true. I never thought about that. Question 4. In The Incredibles, what is Jack Jack's surprising superpower?
Was it laser eyes?
The answer is he has many powers. Jack Jack can turn into metal, shoot lasers, clone himself, and more. He is like a baby superhero mashup. So you're right, he does have laser eyes, but when Jack Jack gets his powers, he has like all of their powers in one. So he's kind of the luckiest one. He's like a mega incredible. Yeah. He's got all the powers. Question 6. In Inside Out, what emotion is green?
Disgust.
That is correct. Each emotion has a color. Disgust is green, joy is yellow, sadness is blue, and so on. It's based on how we feel colors. So like anger is red. And, you know, when you're blue, you're sad. And when you're happy, you're yellow. So they kind of coordinate with how you're feeling. Question 7. What musical instrument does Miguel play in Coco?
Is it a ukulele?
Nope, he plays a guitar. His magical guitar was inspired by real Mexican instruments like the guitarrón and decorated with skeletons. This round is about jobs or occupations.
Do you know what an occupation is?
I was just going to say, do you know what an occupation is? It's just a fancy word for a job.
I don't have an occupation.
You don't have. You're a podcaster. That's your occupation.
Wait, and I'm also a baseball player.
That's true. Question 1. What do you call someone who studies the weather and predicts storms?
A weather detector.
Ooh, good guess. The answer is meteorologist.
Oh, I was going to say.
They don't actually study meteors, though. Meteorologists use tools and satellites to track weather patterns and warn people about storms. I am thankful for meteorologists because if there's a tornado coming or a bad storm, we know about it so that we can get to safety. Question 2. Who flies planes for a living?
A plane driver.
What is he called?
A pilot.
A pilot. Pilots go through years of training to safely fly airplanes, even through rain, wind, and clouds. Question 3. What job involves putting on braces and helping people to smile better? So when Quinn and Ren go to get their braces checked, where do they go?
They go to the paleontologist.
To the
Orthodontist.
Orthodontist is correct. Orthodontists are special dentists who straighten teeth using braces and retainers. Both of your sisters have had braces. Quinn has them now. Ren got them off already. Do you think you're going to have to wear braces?
Yeah.
Yeah, you think so? I hope not. I didn't wear braces, but your dad did. So we'll see.
I bet I'm gonna.
You bet you're gonna. Question 4. What job involves working with animals to keep them healthy?
A zookeeper.
Oh, a zookeeper is a good guess. What would you call an animal doctor, though?
Oh, a vet.
A veterinarian. You're right.
Wait, is it called a veterinarian or a vet?
That's both. A vet is short for veterinarian. Vets are animal doctors. They take care of everything from puppies to penguins.
Penguins?
Sure. Penguins need doctors too.
Puppy penguins?
If I could go back and redo my life, I would have gone to vet school and been a large animal vet. I think I would have loved that.
I'm going to be a basketball player.
You're going to be a basketball player? Maybe that's one of these answers. Question 5. What job includes solving crimes and catching clues like fingerprints?
Police.
Police is a good guess. This is a specific type of police. Can you think of what it's called?
Police.
The answer is a detective. Detectives use logic and evidence to figure out what happened, just like in the mystery books. So you know your Jack and Annie books, how they're trying to find Morgan and figure out the clues? They're kind of being detectives. They're trying to figure out what happened. Question 6. Who creates buildings, bridges, and cities using math and design?
A builder. Bob the Builder.
How about if I said Arkansas? The answer is architect. Have you heard of that before?
I've heard of Arkansas, but not architect.
Okay. Architects draw the plans for buildings, making sure they are strong, safe, and cool to look at. So architects are designers of things, and they have to know a lot of stuff to make sure that the buildings they're designing are safe for people to use. You can use architects to design bridges or, all kinds of things. Question 7. What do you call someone who studies fossils and dinosaurs?
I know this one. Paleontologist.
No, it's paleontologist. They dig up ancient bones and learn about the prehistoric world. Does that interest you? Would you like to dig up dinosaurs? Nope.
Well, I'll help build the dinosaur bones up, but not find them.
You want to put them together once they find them, but you don't want to dig for them. Okay, I can go for that. Fruits and vegetables are what we are going to be quizzed about here.
I know everything about them.
You know everything. Great. This will be easy for you. Question 1. What vegetable can make your eyes water when you cut it?
Onion.
Onion is correct. Onions release a special gas that mixes with your tears to form a mild acid. Ouch! Owie! Question 2. What fruit is made up of segments called fingers?
Dragon fruit.
The answer is a banana. Bananas grow in clusters called hands, and each banana is called a finger. So that group of bananas that you buy, that's the hand, and each banana is the finger. Question 3. What vegetable is actually a flower?
I don't know.
The answer is there are actually several common vegetables that are flowers or parts of a flower. These include broccoli, cauliflower, artichokes, and capers. These are all flower heads or buds that are harvested before they fully bloom. So when you are eating broccoli or cauliflower, you are eating a flower. Well, cauliflower. Maybe that's why it's called that. I never knew that. Question 4. Which vegetable comes in purple, orange, yellow, and white varieties?
Banana.
You've seen a lot of purple bananas?
Yes.
The answer is carrots. Orange carrots became popular in the Netherlands, but purple was the original color of carrots.
I thought it was white.
White's an option too. White, yellow, orange, purple. You can get carrots of all those colors. What color of carrots do we usually get?
Orange.
Orange. I wonder why they quit doing purple. Wonder why it stopped being common. I like purple.
What do you think it tastes like?
Same. They taste the same. That's a good question. Even though they're different colors, they all taste similar. Question 5. What fruit has a fuzzy skin and is green on the inside?
Kiwi.
Kiwi is the answer. Kiwis are originally from China, not New Zealand, and are also known as Chinese gooseberries. Question 6. The fruit that grows on a cactus and has tiny spikes is called a prickly what? Plum, peach, or pear?
Prickly plum.
The answer is prickly pear.
I knew it.
This cactus fruit is sweet and juicy, but you have to peel off the sharp spines carefully.
Wait.
So you got to harvest them carefully because that cactus could poke you. And the prickly, you know what prickly means?
Yeah, like
Spikes.
pokey.
Yeah. So you got to be careful because it's a prickly pear.
Like when we went to Walmart and you showed me that cactus and I said, "Is that a real cactus?" And then I put my hand on it. And then I came home crying because
Yes.
it was a real cactus.
That was when you were quite younger. There was like a little potted cactus, and Brooks goes, "Is this real?" And he just grabs it with his full palm, and he lifts it up, and his hand was covered in cactus spines. So we had to, he was crying, and I was sitting there in Walmart trying to pull out all these cactus spikes
And then you
with
went
my hand.
home.
And then what?
And then we went home.
And then we went home.
You used
And I had to use a tweezer, and there was, it was bad. But you remember it, don't you? You were probably like 1.5 or 2. Core memory when Brooks grabbed the cactus. Question 6. What fruit is mostly water and often eaten in the summer?
Coconuts.
Watermelon. Watermelon is 92% water, which makes it super hydrating. And it used to be given to travelers in deserts. But do you know what has even more water than a watermelon?
What?
A cucumber.
What about coconuts?
Well, coconuts have water inside them, but like the fruit of the coconut doesn't have as much water as like a watermelon or
That's
a
only
cucumber. We are going to learn about the human body. Question 1. Where is the hardest part of your body located?
Is it in your thigh bone? Is it your thigh bone?
Good guess, but the answer is in your mouth. Tooth enamel is even harder than bone. It protects your teeth when you chew, so brush it well. So the enamel is like on the outside of your teeth, right? And that is the hardest part of our bodies. So kids, brush your teeth twice a day if you can. More than that. Keep them clean. Keep them healthy. Question 2. What tiny hairs inside your nose help protect you from dust and germs? Cilia, flagella, or uvula?
Flagella?
The answer is cilia.
Oh.
These tiny hairs trap dirt and push it out like your nose's built-in cleaning crew. Question 3. What part of your body helps you balance when you walk or spin? Your brain, your inner ear, or your tonsils?
Your tonsils.
The answer is your inner ear. Deep inside your ear are tiny canals filled with fluid that help you stay upright and not fall over. So deep inside your ear, there are little rivers, kind of, that keep you balanced when you spin so that you don't fall over. Or, I mean, sometimes you fall over, but even as you walk, you have to be able to keep your balance. So they do a really important job too.
They do.
Question 4. How many thousand times do you blink each day?
Judging on that, 50,000?
The answer is around 15 to 20,000 times. You blink so often, your eyes are closed for about 30 minutes a day, but you never notice. How interesting is that?
If your eyes are open if you close your eyes for like 0.1 seconds, then think of how many times you'd have to do that to get
to 30 minutes. Yeah, but think about that. Like even when you're awake, your eyes are closed 30 minutes a day based on just blinking. That's cool.
That's a lot. minutes.
A lot of blinking, but you got to keep your eyes moisturized, so that's why you blink. Question 5. What organ helps you digest food and is full of acid?
Your large intestine?
I'll give you that. I was going for stomach.
Oh.
Your stomach uses strong acid and muscles to churn food into mush so that your body can absorb nutrients. So do you ever hear your stomach after you've eaten and it's kind of like...
Just like...
Yeah, that's your stomach and the acid and the muscles working together to break up your food to absorb the nutrients and kick out all the bad stuff down into your intestines. Our bodies are just amazing.
Yeah.
Question 6. What part of your body has the most bones?
Your ear.
That's a good guess, but the answer is your hands. You have 27 bones in each hand, which help you grip, wave, and high five. If I'm not mistaken, I think your feet have one less bone than your hand. So I think your feet have 26 and your hands have 27. That's a lot of bones in this thing. But your hands do a lot of things.
I thought that it was your ears because your ears also have the smallest bone.
Yep, that's true.
So maybe they had that like times 20.
That's why I said good guess, because there are really tiny bones in your ears that you probably don't even know about.
Yeah.
Question 7. What part of your body is the first to form when you were a tiny baby in the womb?
Your skull.
The answer is your heart. The heart is the first organ to form, and it starts beating by around 3 weeks after conception. So you're like the size of a grain of rice, and you have a tiny little heart that beats.
How do they figure this out?
Incredible. Because they can see, I mean, just like in an ultrasound, they can see.
I don't know, but they have to zoom in times like 5 billion million
I know.
bajillion.
But like when I had my first ultrasound with you guys, you were just a teeny little blob, but you could see a little like blink, 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 blink on the ultrasound because your heart was beating before you really had anything else going on. It's so cool. Summer, summer, summertime. This round is about summer. Question 1. What flying insect lights up summer nights with a glowing tail?
A lightning bug or a firebug, whatever you want to call it.
Lightning bug or firefly. You are correct. Fireflies glow thanks to bioluminescence, a chemical reaction in their bellies that create light. We have lots of fireflies in Iowa, and you guys run around summer nights and catch them and put them in jars. That's kind of when you know that summer is here, when the fireflies are out. Question 2. What vitamin does your skin make when exposed to sunlight?
Vitamin D.
You got it, vitamin D. Just a little sunshine helps your body create vitamin D, which is great for bones and your immune system. So vitamin D is very important for your body, and the sun helps you get that. However, you got to be careful because the sun also has bad stuff like UVA and UVB rays, which can give you sunburn, skin cancer. So a little bit of sun is great, but too much can be too much. Question 3. What flower is often called the king of summer because it always faces the sun?
Daisies?
Well, the hint was always faces the sunflower. Sunflower. Young sunflowers turn to follow the sun during the day, a behavior called heliotropism. So what that means is the sun rises in the east, so the sunflower's face is facing the sun. As the sun goes up, it starts to tip upward, and then it follows the sun across the sky till it aims the other direction in the evening.
It's crazy how scientists figure this out. They're
I
just
know.
like, let's look at what a sunflower does in a day.
Well, you can look at a sunflower field in the morning, and all the heads are going to be facing one way, and you drive past it at night, and they'll all be faced the other way. The whole field of sunflowers.
I probably wouldn't notice.
Question 4. What color of clothing keeps you coolest in the sun?
White.
Yes, you're right. White reflects sunlight, while dark colors soak up heat. That is why people wear lighter clothes in the summer. Question 5. What famous summer bug is the loudest of all insects and makes a buzzing noise by rubbing its wings?
Bees?
The answer is cicadas.
Oh, yeah.
Male cicadas vibrate special body parts called tymbals to make their super loud summer songs. So not cymbals like in a band, tymbals, spelled the same but with a T instead of a C. Interesting. So cicadas sometimes, they're most of the time in trees. You can find them in trees and they stand perfectly still. And it almost looks like they're not alive because they're not moving, not doing anything. What happens if you touch them and they're still alive?
They'll buzz.
They make this super buzz sound and they fly away and it scares you to death. Question 6. Why do we hear crickets chirping in the summer? To scare off predators, to attract mates, or because they like to sing?
To attract mates.
You got it. They are looking for mates. Male crickets rub their wings together to attract female crickets, and the sound is louder in warm weather. Those girls like those sounds. That doesn't sound like a cricket.
That does not sound like a cricket.
What would you say a cricket noise sounds like? Something like that?
Something like that.
Kinda. Question 7. What drink is often made with lemons, water, and sugar in the summer?
Lemonade.
Lemonade! Lemonade is super refreshing because lemon juice is full of vitamin C and sugar. So it's good in smaller doses. If you're just having lemon and water, great, super healthy. Once you add that sugar, kind of cancels out the healthiness part because you're adding so much sugar to make the sour lemons taste better.
Like, I've tried some of your water and I'm like, lemon water. But then I'll make some of my own and it'll be like, more sugar, more sugar,
Sort of
more
like
sugar.
your tea. You basically have sugar with a little bit of tea.